My name's Charlie Rankin, and I'm with FloridaFundraiser.com. This video is meant to be a free pre-fundraiser conversation to help you and I just make sure that we're on the same page to help you have a super successful fundraiser. I want to go over just a few things, just to um, some house kind of details. I'm a former band director. In case we haven't covered that, I was at Orange Park Junior High for 2002, 2005, seventh and eighth grade middle school band. Um, Went back to grad school at FSU for music ed. And then in 2007 to 2015, I was at Passetti Bay Middle School in St. Johns County, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade middle school band. Just want you to know that what we do at FloridaFundraiser.com and what Courtney and I, my wife, we're trying to develop is an agency to provide solutions for busy teachers. Uh, those solutions right now are fundraising and also apparel. We have other plans coming down the road, but we are working so hard to provide effective, no risk, and low stress solutions for busy teachers related to fundraising and related to apparel. These are two categories that elective teachers and group leaders like yourself interact with a few times a year. And our hope is to be a little bit like Doc Brown or a DeLorean and to be able to give you time back in your schedule or in your life because we are taking these time consuming tasks off your plate and taking care of them in an effective and a professional way. That's our hope. This call is a pre fundraiser touch point. Fundraising doesn't happen, I should say, rephrase that. Successful fundraising doesn't just happen. Just like a successful performance at Midwest or at state MPA or district MPA or solo ensemble performance doesn't just happen. What I've found is that the days leading up to and the week leading up to the launch or the kickoff of a fundraiser is really the moment that determines the outcome 4 weeks later. Just like you have a warm up room and you have fundamentals that you're going to cover either in practice or in rehearsal prior to a performance or a game. The things we're going to cover and have you take care of or share with your students the week before the fundraiser um, is going to mean everything to your results. For this call, I do have, I'm going to go through 5 steps, and we call this Nadia. And this is these are the steps in the conversation that we need to have to get you ready, to get the students ready for a successful fundraiser. So the N of Nadia stands for need. And while this seems silly, do you still need to raise money? If since our last conversation, you have gotten funds from another source, maybe a grant came through or an administrator came through with some money, that might have changed your need. You might have also signed up for an additional expense since we've talked last, and your need has increased. Bottom line, if you don't have a clear goal and clear vision of what should be the result of this campaign or what could be the result of this campaign, we don't have a clear target to aim for. Just like with we're preparing ensembles, we have a clear rubric of what we're looking for superior. We have our boxes, we have our 3 boxes, and we know what it takes to get A's in those boxes. Um, Defining why you need these funds and the benefits of what we'll purchase or what we'll do with these funds and how they impact your curriculum, your students, their experience socially, their experience musically. You have to dig into that and then communicate that to the students, which can be tricky to really have them grasp the gravity of this fundraiser. And then also communicating that to their parents that we need their support, not for them to put their money in the bucket, but we need our parents to share the campaign with their network so that their network will put money in the bucket. So when we think about the need, what will you do with the money that you raise? Okay. So you're going to spend that money. You're going to put a purchase order in. You're going to give this to the boosters for them to send to a travel company. What is the thing that could be or should be the result of this fundraiser? Um, Now, once we know that, we need to dial in a little deeper to know what are the benefits of this thing, this trip, or this instrument to the program. short term and long term, what are benefits to the students? And then you need to go one level deeper to reflect on what are the benefits of the benefits. We could take a bass clarinet. There's features of the bass clarinet, like it might have certain low notes that it can play, or it might have a certain mouthpiece or be made of a certain material. We're not worried about the features of what we're buying. We're worried about the benefits. That's the impact that it has. So describe the impact that this trip or item that we're going to purchase will have on the program and students, and then go one level further with benefits of what are the benefits of that benefit for maybe your teaching philosophy or what you believe about what's important for culture in building for students or providing experiences for students who are a part of your program. We're trying to just load in and strengthen our why and our cause and the impact of this campaign and what every contribution means um, toward our goal. So that's need. Now, attitude is the second A. The leader's thoughts on fundraising and the leader's involvement in the fundraising activities absolutely have an impact on the perception and the results of the fundraiser. So while we don't want to have to do fundraising, we need to retrain our thought process on fundraising that you are leading a nonprofit organization. And as the executive director of this nonprofit organization, revenue and cash flow are extremely important to the success and the vitality of your program and that your program thrives. So, equally important to tone and balance in a musical world, having cash reserves and cash flow and revenue coming in what it's supposed to is going to be a different type of balance that you need for your organization. um, when we have delayed fair share payments till the third or fourth 9 weeks or the third or fourth year, that doesn't help you have the fuel and the impact, financial impact that you need to reach your goals as quickly as you'd like to reach them. So we need to rethink a little bit about how we communicate about fundraising and just start to use different verbs and different words and different action steps when we lead with fundraising. We need you to be at the front of the room and excited and bringing the troops behind you to get behind your fundraiser. Now, details. The details section of this phone call, we're going to have to actually maybe use a form, an online form, or an email response because there are a few details that you and I just have to have together. The first being that before the kickoff date, probably 3 to 4 days before the kickoff date, we have to start with the supporters list. Now, I can share a screen to let you see what the supporters list is going to look like. Um, and so let's do that real quick. So this is the supporters list. Now, I'm going to see if I can get this in a little different spot. Um, the supporters list is a worksheet that we're going to have you work on with the students prior to the kickoff. So what we mean by that is the students need to gather the names of adults that are going to be likely to support them. That's a supporter. A supporter is an adult that likes you or is supposed to like you. Now, this website is a page that I'm going to send you, and it's my best ideas on what you need to have related to the few days before the fundraiser. I call this time the soft launch. This time period, 3 to 4 days before the fundraiser, is critical. I have found that this is kind of the secret sauce of having a successful campaign. So during the soft launch, you're going to hand out a worksheet like this, where it says class of, they would document like their graduating year. Now, this data can be recorded in their phone or their smart device, but there's a lot of wisdom in having them turn this worksheet in so that you have it in your office as well. They need to write down people that they can think of that are in their network, that person's up to date email address, and that person's cell phone number. This information is never used by my company for any other purpose than helping you raise funds. But this is going to be your donor list that we're going to be reaching out to. So just wanted you to see this. This is called the supporters list. Very critical step in this pre-fundraiser portion of the campaign. Other things that we need to talk about are the soft launch, as we mentioned, is the 3 to 4 days before the campaign. This is the time when you're going to allow them to start raising funds before the kickoff date. Any funds raised before the kickoff date are called early bird dollars, and those students are already going to qualify to earn a special drawing opportunity for a prize. The kickoff date is when everyone is going to rally together, and that's the official start of the kickoff. And oftentimes we'll have a 30 to 45-minute launch where we have a goal of, say, $10,000 or $7,000 or a kind of an exciting amount raised during a 30 to 1 hour um, time period, 30 minutes to 1 hour time period during the kickoff date. We also need to talk about products. And if we're going to be using a ship to home product, or if we're not going to be using a product on this campaign, if we're not using a product on this campaign, we need to talk about maybe a little bit down the road in the school year when we can include a ship to home product. Are we doing donations? Are we not doing donations? And what does that look like as well? Are we going to put uh, custom items that the donation would purchase, such as, music for the fall concert, music for the winter concert, or one piece for the fall concert? And you can have this laid out with donation amounts on them, or you can just have it a little more generic where there's $25, $50, $75, 100. You could also consider if you wanted to have other donation events in the year, and we could talk about as well. And finally, team names. Having the students compete against each other and putting team names together can be a great way to increase participation and also have them be a little bit competitive in a healthy way to make sure that the flutes and the saxophones are kind of battling it out to see which group is going to raise the most money. Okay. Now, after the D is going to be incentives. So incentives are when we invest a small amount of money raised into rewarding the students, or we're going to invest some of the money raised to help us motivate and reward those who help your group fundraise. So when we look at this, I'm going to share an example with you via email of what the Sickles High School Band has been doing for their incentive program and how this might be a benefit to you uh, in your boosters or your program as you go forward. So Sickles had quite a fundraising incentive program. They had a program where each week the students could earn a different incentive. So after that week, that particular incentive went away. And then the next week, a new incentive was introduced. So these were small expenses that the incentive lasted about a week long. And there was a low level requirement to be in the running for these incentives. So for like mini campaigns related that were happening during the campaign, I'll send this over to you as a lot of information on what the Sickles Band did to help them have a successful campaign. They did in their campaign at $66,000. Um, Part of the critical mass of that was they had their students entered over 3,000 supporters. um, so to hit that 60,000 mark, you probably will need 3 to 4,000 supporters from your students. We're finding that every 1,000 supporters is about $20,000 raised. So if you have a vision of 50 and 60,000, you need to be looking at 2,500 email addresses to 3,000 email addresses if you'd like to be in that range. So assignments is the final A. Honestly, for this call and the purpose of this call, the most important assignment that we can be thinking about related to your campaign is going to be for you to take seriously and honestly quite seriously the supporters list. The supporters list over and over again is the piece that separates one campaign from another. When I have arrived on campus to help a group launch their campaign and the students are taking out their completed supporters list, the results are just completely different. When I arrive on campus to start a campaign and no one has a supporters list, it's very easy for me to know how that campaign is going to wrap up. So, if anything else, 3 to 4 days before we launch this campaign, distribute and discuss and lay out expectations for how many supporters you would like each child to have. This is not mom and dad, these are other adults. There is a video available that you can use as a resource to help you kind of emphasize who a supporter is. These things, specifically the supporters list, are all the steps that we need to be clear about to have a successful campaign. I appreciate you so much. I look forward to supporting you. If I'm on campus with you live, I'm looking forward to that. If we're going to be doing a virtual presentation similar to this video for your kickoff, or whatever method we're using, I look forward to supporting you, helping you take this task off your plate, and being there to support you with effective fundraising solutions that lower your stress. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you very soon.